Hi everyone, it's Michelle, the Childcare Entrepreneur. Now, I wanted to take you back a little bit and trying to go over some of the things that I talked about in my very first video. And a lot of what I talked about in my video before was an introduction to me, to what I wanted to do with this channel. And so I did a lot of what I call was reflection. I did a lot of just kind of going over what I was doing in terms of helping with my own business. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. And there's a few things that I did talk about, and that was structure and routine, and how I had gotten off of those routines, and how I didn't really have that structure. Now, that was the beginning of when a lot of businesses were closing, not by choice, because of the coronavirus. And a lot of us really needed to do some reflective thinking on what we are going to do with our businesses. Now, family childcare was one of the businesses that was considered essential. And so a lot of us are caring for children of law enforcement officers, healthcare providers, and those type of essential businesses. And it was kind of nice to know that we could continue to care for children, that the state would provide the funding for us to care for the children. But it was also a time of reflection, I think, and it was a time to really understand what we are doing as childcare providers. And so as an entrepreneur, we are not babysitting children. We are providing a service. And so when you're providing a service, as we are, the structure and the routine is very important. And so what have I been doing since then? I mentioned a few things there. And yes, I have changed my eating, adding a lot of fruits and vegetables to my my eating habits. I have been working out, whether it is doing something around the house, or whether I just take a walk, or I put on a YouTube video and I do a little bit of a workout. And so it kind of gets me moving, it gets the juices flowing, and I really feel great. And those of you who are caring for children, you can do the same thing. Use those instruments that you have, put on some music, and dance around with the children. Get outside and kick the ball around, jump rope, do some things that you haven't done before, which is very, very important in this business. And so that structure and that routine that you have is important. And I want to get back to that a little bit, but I want to talk about you and how it starts with you, because you are your brand. And as an entrepreneur, you represent your business, whatever the case may be. My childcare is called Mighty Miracle Learning Center, and so I represent Mighty Miracle Learning Center. I am my brand. And so if we as entrepreneurs keep ourselves up, keep ourselves motivated, and do the things that are going to create a better service for our families, then that is exactly what we need to do. And so if it means going to bed at a certain time, then that's what we need to do, because we definitely need our proper rest. I understand when you care for children in this manner, you're going all day. And so you have to find time for yourself. And if, like I said, going to bed at a certain time, waking up at a certain time, spending a little time with yourself, praying, whatever it is that you do, then you need to do that, to spend time with yourself. And also, when you are creating your schedule, you want to find time to sit down. I know I said those words, sit down. Sometimes that is just not possible because there's so many things going on with your children and in your own homes, but you have to find time to do that. And at some point we'll talk about scheduling and how you can map out your schedule so that you can have time for yourself, right? So you might want to go back and take a look at my previous video. It's my introduction video, and I talk about how things start with you, and it does. Now I want to leave you with something that has really helped me out a lot in my business, and it's called reflective practice. Now, reflective practice has to do with keeping a journal, and the journal can be just a little simple notebook, any type of notebook. Some have, stores, they have really nice notebooks. I grabbed just a little composition book. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It's something that you want to have so that you can reflect on your day. And I'm going to go over with you the components of the reflective journal. And so when you sit down, you want to kind of go over your day and ask yourself specific questions. So let me just go over this. You want to put the date at the top, and then you kind of want to go over your day a little bit. And so your reflective practice questions are going to be something like, you want to have a description. So what happened today? So you want to make that your first thing of what happened today. And you can be as specific as you want to be. You can put names in there. Maybe there's something about your children that you want to talk about, something that happened with you that day. All right. And then you want to write down about your feelings. So what were your reactions or your feelings, or how did you feel about that certain thing? Maybe there was a child that was a little bit more agitated than usual, and so that's something that you may want to reflect on. Or maybe you had a concern about a parent, and so you want to write that down as well. And then you want to do some type of evaluation. So what was good or bad about the experience? And so you want to write that down as well. And so, perhaps maybe the way you handled it, you didn't like that, or perhaps these are the things that you're going to do differently the next time. And then you want to do an analysis. How did it affect the children, or how did the children act? So you want to talk a little bit about the children, and remember, you're providing a service, and so what you do with the children is very, very important, and how they react to you is also important. And then you want your conclusion. And so just something very general. It doesn't have to be a whole long thing. And that question will be, what will you do differently next time? And so these are things that you want to ask yourself each day. At the end of the day, I know at the end of the day, once you finish this, caring for your children with the daycare, then you are caring for your families. And so carve out some time to do this reflective practice, because it helps get out those things that maybe were on your mind. Maybe you can't really make a decision at that moment when you are caring for the children, but when you sit down, you have a few minutes, you can go through this reflective practice. And in the beginning, it might be a little bit tough, because you're trying to think of, what am I going to write and all that. Just let it flow. And as you do it each time, before you know it, you will have filled up your notebook or a journal, and you will be able to, the next time a lot of these things come up, you will be able to answer those questions. And so those are really important, and that's something that I find that really helped me out a lot when you are going through this business and going through your day. So take a look at some of the videos that I've done in terms of my introduction. And so you can also go to my Facebook page, and you can message me if you have any questions or if you have any comments. And so take care. Make sure you continue with your structure and your routine. And remember that it starts with you. And I'll see you in the next video.